minutes. 5, 3, 2, 1, 0, and lift off.
Jackie, where did you come from? I don't even remember. Jackie, don't you fall backwards into that water, will you?
I know.
Anyway, welcome for another edition of this show, which is I'm trying to work out what the time is. We're over a bit late, but there we are. Right, so just have a quick look in the chat, see who's in there. We got Captain Joe, Stevie Knowles, and I can't read his name.
Caroline.
Yep, Caroline there, yep. Flying Finn, there we are. Caroline. With Caroline, we say, Sweet Caroline.
Sweet Caroline.
And that, yep. And then else we got in the chat? Oh, I've lost your name. And Gerard.
Right.
Everything disappeared from it. Jim. Hey, Jim. I know Terry's in there, and Marcus is in there. Mickey Moo. Hi, Mickey. And Kev's in there. And Ray Kelly. And Chuck. Not Wedge and Big.
Oh, that was a good chat we had with him.
It was indeed. And Laurie, how you doing, Laurie?
Yeah.
Anyone else? That's it for me. Right, okay, so if I have missed you, I'm sorry, but they were.
Can I have just one moment, Steve?
Yep.
I want to acknowledge to, all of our viewers, but our U.S. viewers in particular, that today is Memorial Day. It's the day that we honor our soldiers that gave their lives for their country in various wars. I want to acknowledge my great uncle, Clyde Wesley Seal, who paid the ultimate sacrifice for his country at the very, very end of World War I. I've got his flag and all that, but my grandmother impressed that upon me as a very young boy, how important that was. And she never forgot her brother. Yep. And I'm never going to forget him. And I'm going to pass all of his medals and everything on to my nephew so that his sacrifice is never forgotten. Yeah. And anyway, enough of that. On with the show.
No, indeed. No, it's worth saying because obviously it's very important that people don't forget. So
exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
We have our Poppy Day, so.
Yeah, we do. Well, we do ours is in November, obviously, because it's obviously a very sort of poignant sort of day in the year of what we celebrate. So, yeah, there we are. So, anyway, I hope everyone's okay. Anyone been out flying anywhere? Terry been out flying or?
No, don't you even talk about flying at the moment.
No, she wasn't. So anyway,
I got flight news, Steve.
Oh, a quick question to I've got to say hello to Sally. Hello, Sally. We were talking earlier on. We were talking about that. We got a question for anyone in the chat, anyone who might know. We were talking about the Integra goggles.
Yeah.
Now, Terry was saying that the Integra goggles only work with the motion controller 2. Now, I think that it will work with the ordinary stick controller, the remote control 2. I'm convinced of that. It's got to. But Terry can't get it to work. So, anyone in there?
In other words, motion controller 1, Terry, is that what you're asking?
No, the motion controller 2.
Controller 2.
Well, it does, of course, Integra does work with motion controller 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
He hasn't got that yet.
So you're still trying to make it work with motion controller 1?
No, he's no.
With the RC.
Some sticks, yeah.
The RC.
Yeah.
Well, if the RC,
I don't like the motion controllers
Yeah.
I prefer the RCs.
I get your point, Terry. Now the short answer for me is I don't know, but I can tell you for certain that the Integra goggles do not work with the FPV drone.
No, they don't at all.
Right.
And that's why I bought the Integra goggles, so that I can fly my FPV drone in its entirety with its own kit.
Yeah,
and then the Avata, I can fly with the Integra.
Caroline said it should work, and I am convinced that Chuck's going to get a link.
Oh, you know what? It does work, and I'll tell you how I know. Ron Brown does it. Ron Brown has the Integra goggles.
It must work with the RC because otherwise they have to bring another RC out for him, wouldn't they?
Ron Brown bought the kit, and then separately he bought the FPV controller.
Yeah,
and he's used it. He's got videos up on it.
Yeah, it does work. So I mean, what I think doesn't work is when you fly the Mini 3 Pro with the goggles, but you can't use the sticks. You have to use the motion controller too. That's what I do know.
Can I tell you guys something cool?
Go on.
I went flying with Tanya yesterday, and I didn't tell her, but I brought the Avata with me, and so I opened it up, and she goes, "Oh man, I've got to do it." She put those flipping goggles on, and she grabbed the motion controller. First time she'd ever had goggles on. First time she'd ever used a motion controller. She was zipping that thing back and forth across the sky. I was like, I'm going here. You're announcing.
There we are.
Yeah.
That's it. Anyway, I think moving on, we better bring our special guest on because he's sitting there and he's probably eating all the cakes.
Let's welcome this week's Drone Seekers live show special guest.
Hey, Brian, there you go. How's it going? Put Brian up there. There we are. Put Brian up there.
That's a tech thing. I love those kind of graphics now. I love that stuff because, I get to do it too. And it's like, yeah, that's cool.
Well, Brian, welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me.
And we look at the videos and where we got I think we've chosen. I think there's a couple I had to sort of make them a bit shorter because they're a bit on the long side. When I say that, I don't mean that in a horrible way. I mean the fact that we can't actually.
I know some of them.
The files are too big, basically, Brian. So we've had to sort of edit them a little bit. So I'll tell you what. Let's watch one of those very videos. Yeah, there we go.
Cool.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to watch the full quality
Yeah.
video of
that
that, go into Brian's channel, which is Brian, your channel. Do you a shout out for your channel?
You have no idea how
No
much,
idea.
how much fun it
BMacks
was
Aerial
to fly
Visuals.
that day.
Yeah.
I had about 3 drones with me, Insta360 and a GoPro, of course. And the Air 2S did most of the first part of the video, and the Autel Evo Light Plus the second. And by the time I was done, I only got 1 battery in with the ships each. So it was just 2 flights accounted, but I did 9 flights total. I was doing
Wow.
survey flights and checking my distance, and I had to have a spotter friend of mine actually who was on the Alyssa for me.
Oh,
That's
cool.
why I got
Oh,
so
wow.
close.
Oh, okay.
But the guy that I'd rather not say who it was because my ex will be pissed. He lives in Galveston, and he is part of the Alyssa membership group, and he gets to go on those cruises all the time. I just said, Jay, can you watch for my drone? he texts me, he goes, which one? There's like 8 of them up here.
The one that's pointing at you.
Right. No, but I was a nervous wreck by the end of the day. But it was, that's probably the most fun I've had flying a drone in quite a while, until I got the Avata. So,
Yeah.
which I did earlier that month, but I hadn't really gotten into it yet. It's like 1 or 2 just to make sure it worked.
Mm.
I'm having a blast with that thing now.
Cool.
Is my microphone okay now, Bob? I've been buffing around with it.
Yeah, that's loads best.
Yeah. Just I think last week we had a few issues. I've obviously touched again, and it's all gone pear shaped. Unfortunately, I can't hear from this end, but it's okay. Right, okay. Yeah. So anyway, well, we always ask the same questions, Brian. So, how long have you been flying drones?
Technically, November 2017. Toy drones, lost a couple to the trees. The heck with it. I am never doing this again. And then somewhere along the line, my neighbor had a Phantom 3. And, he was 3 doors down from me. I said, Curtis, what is that? And he explained it to me. And I'm sitting there giving him the usual 20 questions. How high does it go? How far does it go? How much does it cost? $500, $800 with the full setup. I just walked away. Said, nah, too rich for me.
Yeah.
5 years later, maybe $6,000, $7,000 later. Yeah, too rich for me.
I must admit, I think most of us have probably been down the same road. You think, no, I need to start off with something very, very cheap and sort of inexpensive. But the problem with that, of course, becomes the added disadvantage of the fact that it's probably a bag of spanners.
As we say, buy cheap, buy twice.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I think I'm sure all of us have been there somewhere along the line. Well, Marcus maybe not. Maybe Marcus started with Skydio, didn't Marcus?
I just like the rest of you guys. I started with a toy drone, just like what Brian was saying. You thought, well, that looks kind of cool, and you order a toy drone, and next thing you know, I similar, Brian. I saw a video of a guy with a Phantom, and I go, oh well, shoot, there you go. And I looked at the price, and just like you, I said, well, maybe not. Well, then they had refurb Phantom 3 standards for like $359, I think, and I was going, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah. My first was a Spark.
Yeah, me too.
Fantastic drone.
Yeah.
Brian's like my twin because he's now Avata, GoPros, 360s, and we both started
That's
with
very
Spark.
true, actually. Yeah.
Very true.
Playing with it just as we
The
were.
question is, Brian, have you still got your Spark, or did you drown yours too?
360
I
right
didn't
there.
say anything. I said nothing.
I'm not sure how long we can actually keep the Spark story up. I mean, we've kept it up for the last 3 years.
Now that I think about it, Jack, that's probably when I noticed your channel, because weren't you using a Spark too?
Yeah, that's what
Because
I
I was
started with.
tracking anybody that had a Spark, I was zeroing in on them and said, Just
Dave Cullen
get
says
an
he's
idea how
the
to
first spark.
work.
Nope.
Have you still got your spark, Brian?
No, I ended up selling it
Oh,
stupidly.
But
that's better than
Oh.
drowning it.
I want to say something though about the Avata versus the Spark. When I bought the Spark, let's put it like this: when I got the Avata, I said, "This is what I thought the Spark was going to do." You know,
right.
because it was small, it wasn't nimble, but I didn't know that.
It was tough
And-
though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It didn't break.
I did actually
That's
see a
right.
video of someone smashing a spark into a tree once on purpose, just to see how strong it would be. But why you would do that, I don't know.
That
But
spark going all sorts of places.
It did, didn't it?
This can't swim, can it?
No, it can't
No,
swim.
it
How
doesn't
long-
climb
just-
mountains either.
just out of curiosity, Jackie, how long did you actually have that spark for, though?
2 years, I think.
So 2 years. Yeah,
Good fun. You've
So,
got money
so
to put out
the weak point of the Spark was the fact that it would
Right.
overheat. And Jackie, you were in Spain, and I guarantee you, what happened is eventually that circuitry degraded because of
Yeah.
Yeah.
countless heat cycles, and it said, "You know what? It's been a great
Oh,
life.
yeah.
See ya."
yeah. See ya, won't want to be ya. So, Brian, I mean, you telling me on how hot it is where you are now. I mean, do you have any sort of problems with heat issues with drones at all, or?
well, up until last night, I would have said no.
Uh-oh.
And we have a story.
So here in Houston, we had a meetup. There's a Facebook group organized by some local guys. I'm not sure the count. It's 3,000 or 4,000 members, and it's just called Houston Drones. So a couple of them get together and said, "Let's have a meetup downtown Houston." It's really picturesque in the evening and at night to shoot video and pictures from a drone of the skyline. Excuse me. About 42 of us showed up,
Wow.
and
What did you do?
Good meat.
yeah,
isn't
I mean,
it?
it's not a bad turnout for the first time going. And keep in mind, the temperature is already like 90 here. So it's not that comfortable. So I get all my cameras going, got the GoPro going, got the Insta360 going. Flew the Avata once through the parking lot. That's fun. I had the Insta360 Sphere attached to my Mavic Air 2. And I don't know what happened. Last time I touched my Mavic Air 2 was a firmware update, so I got to go back to that. It would not. It was not bound to the RC, and it kept saying bind to the RC bind, and it was a cycle. And I said, well, this is stupid. I picked up the drone, and it almost burned my fingers. So I'm pretty sure that drone is toast, because there's no way that motherboard could have handled that kind of heat.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Wow.
No, it's just one of those things. I've had it now for over 3 years.
I mean,
So
3 years.
No, it's gone.
but you
But
know,
I'm
I
gonna-
find, I think, because the original DJI drone, or should I say, the bigger DJI drones have a built-in fan, but of course, the little ones, i.e., the Mini 3 Pro, doesn't.
Don't.
And
No.
sometimes, even when you're updating that thing, if it's a warm day, what I would say is update it in the fridge is probably your best option, because it does like it. It really does get hot on it.
Yeah, the Avata gets warm, doesn't it, if you leave it sitting
Again,
for too long?
there's no
Yeah, it
fan.
turns itself off, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
This is the problem is if you're halfway through updating something and it turns itself off, I mean, you
I
can end
know.
up with a corrupt firmware also.
this
Yeah.
thing never even left the ground, though. It just got hot sitting there on the ground, and I had the landing cover under it, so it wasn't exposed to the ground. But
it's
I'm
a
not
heat
too
come down.
concerned about with it. Like I said, I've got the Air 2S and a bunch of others, and I'm pretty sure, given the age, I can, if I want another Mavic Air 2, I can pick one up pretty cheap somewhere. The only thing I really used that for was to saddle back with that Insta360 Sphere,
Right.
because you can get some really good shots with that thing. Interesting.
I bet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so obviously, I mean, your the ship video you watched so long ago, that was the Mavic 2 Air, was it?
That was the Air 2S. Yeah, that was the Air 2S.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the question is, how many drones have you actually got in your
Stash right now? Somebody asked me that the other day. I lost count.
We've got too many.
I'm going to say
Well,
I'm going to say 4 or 5, because I don't want to count the Mavic Air 2 out yet.
Yeah.
But right now, I think 4.
Well, 4 or 5,
Too
Brian.
rich for us.
That's a good start to a drone collection.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. You know, and I gave away my Mavic 2 Zoom
Oh,
to a
really?
good friend of mine, but because I just said, and I could have got like $700 for it. It's a hassle doing that,
Mm.
and I'd rather give it to someone who I know sooner or later. He doesn't fly much. When he does, he has fun, and at least it gets used.
Yeah.
I mean, it's set up on the shelf for over 18 months, to almost 2 years, and I said, "Yeah, you got to go, dude."
I mean, I think that was good. I mean, I had the Mavic 2 because Terry, you had the Mavic 2. Have you still got the Zoom, Terry? Have you still got it?
No. I don't know what happened to it, to be quite honest. I've had a few.
Oh no! Sorry,
I had the platinum.
You had the platinum?
Yeah, I did have, and you had it in the end.
No, that was
That was the Zoom.
that was
That
the
was
Zoom.
the Zoom.
I had the original Zoom, the crashed one. And then of
Yes.
course,
I remember that. I remember seeing that. I remember that video.
Yeah, it was another Jackie video, wasn't it?
So does Jackie. Jackie was filming the whole thing.
One thing, Brian.
Always films the
One
whole
thing I
thing.
will say, Brian, that if you actually go flying with Jackie, I guarantee you do something
I'll get it
wrong,
on camera.
Jackie will have it on me.
Just don't drop your trousers and squat somewhere.
Yeah, don't want that on camera.
Anyway, more video time. Things. I'll find the video. Oh, this one, yeah. Coastal Sunrise. We'll talk about this one in a minute. Yeah.
That was-
That was great.
Yay.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
Someone's asked in the chat, Brian, what music are you into? I've heard
Anything.
Very varied.
There's not too much I don't like. Hardcore rap is a little bit hard for me to listen to, but if there's musical instruments to it, I'm going to give it an ear, because if there's music and there's real music, I try to stay to the real music.
Just very while I'm just reading this, I've just thought Gary's trying to do out of a job in Terry. If you read that, thought I'd let you know about a business venture. All
I
to do.
did.
Pizza drone delivery. Make them give me the bell. Just fly in the sky.
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
That's what we
Very
miss.
good.
Just what we miss when Gary's not here. When Gary don't come on the show, we don't get this one.
Inescapable logic.
Yeah.
In the sky, or pizza in the sky.
And by the way, that type of video you just saw, I go out 2 or 3 times. Well, I go out once every 2 or 3 months to the shore. I'm going tomorrow morning, so there'll be something coming up here real soon. Similar.
Yeah, we look forward to that. You do. There is someone mentioned earlier on. Flying Fin Media said great use of footage from different devices, Brian, and it does it. I mean, and Jackie does the same thing. I mean, you very much are similar sort of, because just the addition of like the 360 and the, just. They're not all aerial shots. There's a real mixture in there, which you're right. I think it does. It actually just makes it. That just gives it a bit of a different sort of edge, doesn't it? Really.
There was 2 shots right there at the end where one was the Mavic Air 2, a standard picture. Of course, the sphere is riding on the Mavic 2, so it's easy to lock those together or sync them together, so that it just blends right into the other.
So what is the sphere then? Is that like a 360 camera?
It is an Insta360 camera that was made to ride either on the Air 2S or the Mavic Air 2, which is really why I'm bummed now, because if I want to use it, the only bird I've got is the Air 2S, and I don't like doing that because that is one of my main drones. I mean, that 1-inch sensor is irreplaceable. Well, it's not irreplaceable. I'd just rather not have anything happen to it.
I must admit, Brian, have you done it? Because obviously you're on the 360. A video I watched some time ago now, it was probably a couple of years ago now, where someone actually put a 360 camera on a drone, so you can actually see the drone sort of.
Yes, that was one of mine, Steve.
Was it one of yours?
Yeah.
Where
the drone coming towards you?
Yeah, it looks like the camera was separate from the drone.
Yeah, I did one of those just last weekend with the Avata and the 360. Where I showed the Avata going overhead.
How do you find the Avata? Because someone made a comment on YouTube the other day. They were talking about using a particular camera, because obviously the Avata is not over good with carrying cameras. I don't know. You haven't tried it, Jack, have you?
No.
I was going to when I came over in Spain, but if you remember when I had that crash, it broke the actual adapter, didn't it?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Let me ask you, why would you? That's something that I've never understood. Now I understand a 360 camera on there. I get that, because that's a whole different perspective.
Now, what I wanted to do, Mark, is I wanted to film my forward and backward. I was going to put the camera backward.
Okay.
Because obviously we were following each other around. So the plan was, so obviously the camera forward front, so cameras, is filming where you're going, and the drone in front, and the one on the back would film the one
where you've been.
Yeah, where you've been. Yeah. So I've still yet to try that. I've got another camera, I've got another adapter, but it hasn't happened yet. So
but Brian, chime in. The 360 camera, you could choose, right? You could front view, back view, whatever you want.
That's it. Yeah.
That thing is just so versatile. It's like, okay, what do I want to make it look like? You can do anything with it. Yeah. You can shoot it straight at the sky and just take pictures of the clouds while you're flying.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that is. I mean, I've never got into 360. I mean, I've seen all the things that people have created with 360, and it sort of does have an appeal. But I've thought, it's bad enough to find a drone around.
It's very the 360 is very gimmicky. Somebody said that, and I totally agree. It is, but it's pretty cool what you can do. I strapped it to the hood of the car one night in downtown Houston. Just drove around, and it was a hoot.
I put one on my bike helmet.
There you go.
Yeah,
was
that's
excellent.
quite good, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll just have a quick say hello to.
I dangled my 360 from a wire from my drone once. That was a bad idea because
Yeah.
as the drone moved, right, it acted like a pendulum.
Oh no! Yeah.
It was so scary. I did that.
I did that with a box of black magic. I was hanging it from a drone. It was
Oh what?
yeah. But I was
Was you
going
going to do it to Linda and say all because the lady knows
Linda's
what
birthday. And it just went round. In the end, I threw a couple of boxes of biscuits out.
I did it with a Ferrari one time with my Air 2S. I picked up a Ferrari.
Oh,
Wow.
I'm not joking.
yeah.
Oh, I saw that
It was
video.
a Hot
yeah.
Wheels. It was a Hot
I
Wheels.
told you
Ferrari.
you should have done it with
Ferrari,
a Corvette.
Yeah, I should have.
Yeah, Marcus, that's the point. Have you ever done that when you race your car? Have you ever put a camera on it to film?
I do. In fact, I put the Insta 360 Go 2, and it's so small. So the NHRA really doesn't like cameras in race cars. They don't
Oh.
specifically say no, but they really don't like it. But it's so inconspicuous. I put it on the top of the windshield by the mirror, and I literally record nearly every run I do. And there's method to my madness. I review it to make sure I line up correctly. I look at all, everything that happens during that race, and what can I do to improve it. But yeah, so hang on.
Hello,
One
Mark.
more here. This is Jackie. This is what I should have used right there.
Ah,
There's a blue
yes.
Corvette right there.
Perfect.
But yeah, no, the drop system. When I tried this drop system, I did a Hot Wheels car, and it was kind of dumb, really, but it was something fun to do.
Oh,
Yeah.
Who was it further in the chat?
Who?
Caroline Tyler RC. Reasonable 360-degree cameras don't have enough resolution, and they're right.
That's
Now,
true.
for a lot of the 360 videos, especially the night ones, like I mentioned, I put it on my car. What I do is I'll throw it into my editing software for Filmora, edit it, and then put it into Topaz video resolution enhancer, because that's really the only way you're going to get it to look smooth, and it reduces the noise and
Well, just out of
it looks
curiosity,
much better.
what resolution are they? The 360 cameras.
Do I now?
What resolution are they?
Not much. Well, I mean, okay.
but they're like
It says
5.6.
5.4K, but when
Yeah.
you're doing a 360, that 5.4K is not really true. It'll do 4K and 1080p, and the lower you go, the lower resolution, they look really bad. So I always leave it at 5.4 and hope for the best.
Surely 5.4, even at 360. I mean, that sounds like. I mean, because Jackie, when I've watched your videos, I mean, the quality of them looks quite sharp. But I suppose.
Yeah, they're 5.4K, but that's the whole circular image. So, because
Right.
when you
Yeah.
reframe,
So do you have to
part
divide that by
you're
360
only
then,
getting
technically?
part of it. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but then
Yeah,
when
that's
you
what
edit
makes-
it, you can upscale it to 4K, which is some kind
Hey,
of image
Steve, I'm going to
sharpness.
put Steve's comment up here for this. Is
Yeah,
interesting.
I was just looking at that actually.
Yeah. So I'm interested. What kind of data would you collect? I'm curious. I'm not.
But they do sort of like inspections and what have you. So
You could do
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot then.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure Steve could probably sort of enlighten us to. I mean, Caroline's in 5.4 is stretched around 360.
Right.
Yeah, but
that's
right.
it.
But
yeah.
if it is stretched,
Huge
I mean, so I wonder what it actually works out to. That you actually any particular part of that, what does it work? So it'd be interesting.
Depends how
Someone
much
chat.
of the image you use, doesn't it? 'Cause
Yeah,
you
but
can-
I mean, obviously, if he's filming the whole 360,
yeah.
they're telecommunications.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's the thing with the 360. You can reframe it, the shot, so
Yes.
you can either
Right.
use it like a wide angle, sphere, or zoom in,
Yeah.
and of course you can move from one to the other, and then that's when your resolution changes.
So you get a better resolution when you zoom in. Is that what
No,
you're
when you
saying?
zoom out when you've got
No.
a widescreen.
No.
Yeah, because then you're
Okay.
using it all.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right.
I just was going to say, Stephen, Flyby Guys, he probably does more with drones than all of us combined,
He
right? With
certainly
his
does.
drone
And he-
shows and inspections,
one
all
thing-
the commercial.
I'll
things.
never ask Stephen Sutton how many drones he's got either.
Well,
Like,
More than any of us.
yeah, you think of one aspect of flying drones isn't Stephen involved in at some point,
Yeah.
He's saying you got far too many drones, mate. You just knock it on the head, right? You know, all these drones and whatever, just not good for you. But we'll take when we see him, we'll hide a couple of 3 notes they're missing. So I had a Karen at Thames in Reading today.
Oh dear.
Everyone loves a good Karen, don't they? But I still want to know why they actually called her. Why Karen? I mean, I'd be very upset if if I had a female named Karen, you know what I mean? But,
Yeah,
it's
that's what I
kind of a
thought.
long, sad story. There was a series of situations that happened with some, bad situations, and they all happened to be named Karen, and so it kind of became a.
okay.
Yeah.
You know, I think Gladys would have been better. I remember there were, on the TV show Bewitched back in the day. There was a
That's
busy
right.
buddy neighbor.
Yes.
His busy
That's
buddy
right.
neighbor's name was Gladys. That
Yeah,
was definitely a Karen back then.
yeah.
Yeah.
She was the nosy neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it took me a long while to work this out because I was watching a video one day. This is about a Karen. I thought it was funny because they all seem to be named Karen, but I didn't realise that it was actually just like a.
So here's what I always think about is just what Carolyn is saying. here.
Yeah,
You know,
because my
there-
friend's called Karen as
yeah,
well.
I mean, gosh darn it, yeah.
My
Sucks,
cousin's
really.
Karen.
This is what I'm
Karen's
saying.
out
you see.
there.
I mean, the thing is that it's Karen, and so if anyone, I mean, I know some good friends. One of those named Karen. But I think, well, okay. So I'll just say next time, so you're just a troublemaker, aren't you? Do you know anyone named Karen, Kev? Any Karens?
No.
Laurie
no Karen.
says she's glad her name is not Karen. I don't know. Karen Kovac has a good ring about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Kovac.
An example of how 360 we use. There we are.
Rico, I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah, they're a known brand, but so what?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just reading a little more about Karen. No. Right, okay. Right, let's have a look.
Video.
Yeah, let's have a video. This is one evening in Houston. But Brian spends lots of time in Houston, but it's just one evening.
California.
I've got to ask you the question. Someone asked the question earlier on, Brian. Where do you get your music from?
What now?
Where do you get your music? Where do you choose your music?
Epidemic Sound. One of the guys asked me this year, because I was with Soundstripe for years, and they got too proud of themselves, up their price out of my range, and I said, nah. So Epidemic Sound is pretty reasonable this year.
Yeah, I'll use Epidemic. I mean, there's some great. I mean, the trouble is, I think there's too much on there. I think I tend to look at a video now and think, right, okay, this video is 5 minutes long, right? Okay, find a bit of music. You just type in, you can actually tell it what sort of type of music and what length of time you want it to run, and that'll fit perfectly.
I'll download 5 or 10 songs, and in my head I've got my video, and I'll try to listen to the song and say, yeah, that'll work there, and just go from there.
Or play it as you roll your video. You play the music and you see if it goes with it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've started from scratch after making a whole video. Said, that sucks. New song.
Yeah, I think we've all done that before. We put me music. And well, what is this music? I think there is one video I did. I thought, listen to this music afterwards. That music does not go with that video at all.
Gardner, you should be composing your own original music.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Steve Gardner originals.
Well, we done a remix of Thunderbird soon, didn't we?
Yeah, you should be doing more like that.
He'd want us all to do the voice, though, wouldn't he? The vocals.
God, no, not that again.
Yeah.
La, 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 la.
I must be. Yeah, I mean, there are times when I'm doing sort of. I mean, at the moment, obviously, I've got it sort of. Well, the keyboard's packed away there, but I mean, it's been out all week. I've been obviously rehearsing for this music night, and I keep thinking, I was just sitting there and actually, because it's got, I mean, obviously synthesizers, electric keyboards. I mean, they have so many different sounds. I mean, some of it, what the hell is the good of that sound? But you can make something out of it, no doubt. But one day, who knows? Who knows? Watch this space. Maybe the next video, Brian. So. Because I noticed on your, because I thought it was one of your videos, and suddenly realised it wasn't. But I'm going to show in a little while. But it's Maria. Oh, I've forgotten the name of it now. Hang on, let me just look it up. It was Maria. I can't say it. Maria Davis. What do you know about Maria Davis? Do you actually know this person personally?
Maria Davis is someone who noticed me first because of the aerial visuals in my name. She's mostly a musician, but she also flies a drone. She hooked up and did a collaboration with one of my favorite music composers of the last 10 years. There's not a lot of music that's really become a favorite. There's a band out there, I think, it's a one-man thing. I think he's based out of Boston, and he goes by the name of 7 and 5. Their music.
That right. Okay, that question.
She hooked up with him, and they just released an album together.
Right.
So that's how that came about.
Okay. Well, we'll have a look at that because I sort of looked at it, realised it. I thought, so it's not your footage on there, though, is it? Or
no.
It's her footage.
It's her footage. Yeah, she's in Arizona, and I just saw a post. She's moving. I don't know where she's moving to. I don't like to pry.
I sort of watched it. I thought, wow, I like this. And so I thought, oh, wait on. I thought, well, do you know what? I do like that. So we are going to show it. Anyway, so I suppose it must be coming up to that time. Yeah, of course it is. So we point at Terry. Oh, hang on. This is the point where we all point at Terry and we do this.
And now it's time for Terry's Joke of the Week.
Yes.
See,
yeah, this beer company were hiring tasters, and they needed someone to come in to taste the beer before selling it. And they scratched their heads, and they weren't sure what to do. So they placed an ad in the local paper. And one afternoon, this dirty old man came in, really scruffy looking, and he said, "My name's Fury." What? It's Fury. he says, "I come in for the job as a beer taster," and he looked into the manager's office, and the manager tried to figure out how could he drive this man away, but he couldn't come up with an idea at all. So he decided to give the man a trial. He ordered his secretary to give the man a glass of wine. Took a sip and he said, "It's red wine, Muscat, 3 years old, grown on the North Slope, matured in steel containers." "Wow, that's correct," the manager exclaimed. "We'll give him another one. Let's see." So he was given another one. Took a sip again and said, "Red wine again, Cabernet Sauvignon, 8 years old, Southwestern Slope, oak barrels." "That's incredible," said the manager. And the manager, he wasn't keen on this bloke at all. Not keen on him at all. He just didn't look the part. So he walked across to his secretary and whispered to her, "Go and get some of your urine in a cup. We'll get that. See what he says about that." And the man was given the cup of urine. He took a sip, swirled it round his mouth, spat it out, turned to the manager and said, "Female urine, 26 years old, 2 weeks pregnant. If I'm not given this job, I'll tell your wife who is responsible for the pregnancy."
Terry's joke of the week.
Very good.
Did you have to swirl it around in your mouth,
Yeah,
Terry?
Actually, that came as a quick last minute. I thought, I'll pad this one out a little bit.
Gross.
I'll do
Did you get the job though?
a very similar to that about someone who's supposed to be an expert whiskey. It was similar like that, where the guy sort of says, he goes, "Oh, that's piss," and he went, "Ah, but whose?" Because he's supposed to be an expert whiskey. Anyway, right. So I said we're going to show this video.
Yes, let's show a video. Yes.
Show a video. We'll talk more about urine.
Marcus rinses his mouth out.
Yeah.
Because we normally talk about food, but today we thought we'd change the subject and talk about urine. There we are. Right, okay. So this is Walk in the Twilight by, there we go.
Nice. I love those cactus.
I saw that video, Brian. I just had to share it because
That's fine. In fact, I can't wait to after the show. I'm gonna send her the link to this so she can see we gave her a plug.
Yeah, indeed, yeah.
So she was telling me though she shot all that with the Air 2S. She's been using the original Mavic 1 up until a year ago, I want to say. She mentioned so. Yeah, she's liking that Air 2S a lot.
Some of that near Monument Valley, do you know, Brian?
I have no idea.
See, I'd love to fly out Monument Valley.
So you and everybody else, and I'm pretty sure you can't.
Probably not.
Yeah. What do you call it in the UK? National Trust or something?
Oh, okay, yeah.
National parks here.
I've got a shame comment.
A shame comment.
I think what I would probably try to do if I was in that situation is to say I'm out here doing the preliminaries for the pre-shoot of Forrest Gump 2, and we're here to take some more video. So excuse me, please.
Let's just say, run, Forrest, run.
Yeah.
David Cullen in the chat says, my videos are nowhere near as good as ones you show on here. Well, we'll be the judge of that.
Yeah, we still want to see him.
Oh. No charisma, brilliant.
You know, hard to argue. Hard to argue that.
The next drone seekers meet up in Monument Valley.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, I'll see you there. Okay.
Well, there's different parts of it.
Yeah.
By the way, who was that to mention about videos being good or not? I mean, my main reason for even trying, I've gotten pretty good as a video editor over the last few years, but it's my wife that started me. She goes, if I see one more drone video, I'm gonna slug you because they're boring. You better do something entertaining or don't show me anything at all. So to that end, that was really good. Was that you?
Well, that's the thing, though. I mean, the thing is, if it's constructive criticism, then I'm all for it. Because at the end of the day, someone says, the trouble with your videos is, I mean, the first thing is never a video not to be too long. I mean, that's number one, without a doubt. I mean, no, sorry, Mark.
I feel the big one coming.
So all you got to do, Mark, is you got to whittle your videos down to about 3 minutes. Not sure how you're going to do that.
I don't think you can get all that info into 3 minutes.
No. I mean,
you missed out. Never be too long, unless it's captivating.
Here's the thing.
It is, yeah. Exactly.
Everybody has their own style, and they're not all wrong, and they're not all right. It's what I love. I love watching Brian's videos. I love watching Jackie's videos. I love Steve, Terry's. However, we're all different, and I recognize that mine are way different than styles than what Jackie's are.
But Marcus, yours
informative, aren't they?
Yeah, I was going to say yours are like a lesson in. It gives people a better insight into what they may or may not be buying.
If you want to see an example of good video editing and craftsmanship, look at Chuck and Lori and their travel logs. I mean, they're amazing.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is, this doesn't obviously. I mean, Chuck and Laurie's videos are long, but they're long for a reason. The same reason as yours are long, because they are telling a story. You can't tell a story in 3 minutes. The general rule of thumb: if a video is just like you at a location, then realistically, unless there's lots and lots to be at that location, then 3 minutes is long enough. But when it's an educational video or a factual video like Chuck and Laurie's and yours, Mark, because they have to be that length of time.
So Steve, just in the last 2 days, my older brother posted on TikTok a video. He was in Arizona and he took a video of some petrified wood, dinosaur tracks, and petrified dinosaur poop. In 3 days, it's got over 1 million views.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. But in TikTok, it's that short form, that people consume really fast. Yeah.
It is. I mean, TikTok. I don't get that involved with TikTok. I mean, I leave that to my kids. They mess around with TikTok. I'm just not into it at all. But
I tried it for a while, and it just, I don't know.
It's not for me either, Brian.
I think it's an age thing, Brian. We're too old, but I'm sorry.
No, don't say that, Steve, because I don't think it's an age thing. My older brother, I'm 67. He's 68. I had to think about that for a second. He is on TikTok all the time, and he's posting to TikTok. I'm not sure it's an age thing. I just think it's how you want to consume media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe, but yeah, it just doesn't. I mean, Jackie, you do TikTok videos. Do you not?
No.
Terry?
No.
Okay. TikTok videos? No.
So, Jackie, we need to call you out, Jackie, because you've been doing a great job with your YouTube shorts.
You have, yeah.
Very enjoyable.
Oh, they like TikTok, though. Oh, they like TikTok. They're
a minute long. I had a look at TikTok. I couldn't figure out how to use the flipping thing. I just came up with it.
You know what to do on there, Jackie? You need to go and get a YouTube. See, YouTube, with me, we've said this before, anything else. I wanted to know how to do something the other day. I thought I couldn't remember how to fade music out. Now, you did it with other software. And I thought, and I was looking for this fade button, because sometimes there used to be I don't know what program it was, but it used to be like a fade in, fade out type sort of. You just right clicked on it, but I couldn't find it. And then I just looked on, good old fashioned YouTube. How do I do it? And it's so simple, it's unbelievable. I thought,
I like YouTube.
Wow. There's guys on there who actually just help me out all the time.
Yeah.
UK, I have TikTok video over 400,000 views. Well done.
Yeah. And so Carolyn's making a comment about vertical video, and in general, I agree with her. But you know what, Carolyn, we're in the minority because vertical video, so many people are doing it now.
This is why the Mini 3 Pro actually has that format. I will never use it. I can't ever see me using it. Well, I can't see the point. I mean, the screens, most of our TVs are that way, not that way. It's bad enough when you actually have a video on a phone and you just strip down.
I did a YouTube short with it one time. That's all I can tell you. The only time I've ever used it. Yeah.
I'm telling my kids, don't do that. Do that.
Right.
Exactly.
Because what do they do?
Because the problem you've got, as I say, is that most TV screens are 16 by 9, which are 16 that way or 9 that way ratio. Right. So they were never meant to be shown that way.
Except for that. How are a lot of people consuming media now? They're consuming it on here, not on the TV.
Yeah, that's true.
What's driving it? Yeah,
but even if I watch a YouTube video, I don't watch it that way.
No, I'm with you, Kev.
I do, I do. But to be honest with you, I don't do very much. My phone is a phone for sending text messages, make phone calls. I don't do much Facebook or any social media stuff on my phone.
Well, Steve, aren't you an anachronism?
Whatever.
I'm not going to America with him if he's
a Luddite.
A Luddite.
A Luddite. Yeah.
I'm take a MacBook with me. I've got an iPad. Why the hell do I want to sit and watch a screen this big?
I'm totally with you. I totally agree with you. I'm just saying that so much of the world now. That's
it is.
Yeah.
I bought Haley. She was always sitting there on Facebook, on her phone. I said, "I'll get you an iPad." So I bought an iPad. Where is it? Uncharged in a wardrobe somewhere, probably. But hey, each to their own. Whatever floats your boat.
Whatever blows your dress up.
Always turn horizontal. Anyway, Brian, thanks ever so much for joining us. Because it's been a blast, and we've obviously Mark has put a link on there for.
I did. I put a link for your channel. I'll put it in there again.
Yeah, put it in there again, and we'll put it on the bottom there. So obviously, anyone wants to check Brian's videos out, it's worth watching. So go over to there after the show, and
One thing I'd like to put in a plug for, and this is
Of course you can.
to anybody who wants to, but Marcus especially, because I might not have mentioned him, is the Avada challenge I started about a week ago.
Oh,
Yes.
yes. Yes.
So it's for newbies because I am one.
So just out of curiosity, Brian, this is it going to be ongoing? I did see that on there.
At least for 2 weeks. I'm going to see how it plays out. And if it keeps going, I'm going to up the challenge just a little bit. Not much, because I don't want to make it too hard.
So do you want to just tell people briefly what you're expecting them to? I mean, there is information on there anyway, but yeah, just far away.
No straightaways, Steve.
Yeah, that killed Johnny on the straightaway.
Yeah.
But my impetus for that was some really boring Avada video coming out on YouTube. Sorry, guys.
Look, you know what, Brian?
Jackie not included. Jackie, your stuff is amazing, especially the cheese.
She edits it, but Brian, you're absolutely correct. We're seeing so much Avada video that is kind of getting repetitive, isn't it? Just like when we're talking about aerial video. Okay, I've seen somebody twirl around a tree before and that kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's kind of similar in that regard.
Well, I to be honest, I think the Avata to me is more a fun drone to fly than it is to actually filming. Really, I don't publish anything that I film with Avata, or very little. Apart from when I crash it, of course. I mean, that's what I'll show. Because everyone likes a good crash, don't they?
Oh yeah.
Secretly, that's what I'm trying to do is get crash video. I'm sorry.
Brian, to be honest with you, I said it a long while ago. I made a statement. I have collected a few, but I am actually looking for crash videos because I've realised that if I make a whole video, maybe about 3 or 4 minutes, full of crashes, it's going to go viral.
You and Ken Heron.
because at the end of the day, I think that's what people want to see.
Yeah.
They want to see people, not failing, but just crashing. There we are.
Yeah.
Gee, I crashed mine, but it wasn't that stupid.
So, Brian, I'll have to look on your channel. If you've got some crash videos on there, Brian, I might steal some.
Hey, I got a question for Jackie before we go. Jackie, did DJI tell you when they sent you your Avada back? Did they say that there was a particular defect or nothing? They just
just gave me this invoice or list or whatever report that just said they were giving me a new Avata and a new remote controller. I got a new remote controller as well.
Oh wow!
Did you?
Oh, did you send a remote controller back then? Did you?
I sent everything back because I thought that's what you were supposed to do. So I sent the goggles, the drone.
Oh, okay.
Controller.
Yeah. Well, okay. So is it actually a new drone? It is a new drone then?
It's a whole new drone.
So,
but it still puggles because I pulled his face off and I've stuck it back on.
Puggles numero dos.
Puggles 2 walks again.
Yeah. I put his face on him, it's him.
How do I make mine puggle? I haven't figured that out yet.
Jackie flew it and he went, "It's alive." Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Brian, thank you very much for joining us. And
I had a blast.
Until next week, we'll do it all again next week. We hopefully will. And if you are flying, fly safe. If you're not flying, don't worry about it. Anyway, have a good week, everyone. Take care. Bye bye.
See you all.